So I have sent over 10 million cold DMs in the past 2 years, and here is what I have figured out. So basically there are 4 key levers that makes you succeed in cold outreach. It's statistically proven that if even one of those levers isn't optimal, you won't be able to scale this and you will get hardly any results with outreach. It took me 24 months to find them all and master most of them. So if you want to just skip those 24 months, it took me to figure this out. Just watch this video and I will show you. So how I have actually started with cold DMs or cold outreach. I have started with Instagram cold DMs. So we have just like started new agency and we wanted to do lead generation. So I have started sending out cold DMs, and before I have even got any results from my outreach, I have started hiring people. So I have just started hiring like 20 VAs. If you don't know what VAs are, it's like virtual assistants, people usually from third world countries that work for really cheap rates and just basically do this for you. So basically I have like 20 VAs, 20 Indians that was sending like 30 DMs per day. And after like 1 month, we were sending a bunch of DMs. I didn't get any booked calls and I didn't get any clients, and I was like wondering what's going on, why I'm not getting any results. And then I have actually realized was the problem, because then I actually checked the accounts of those Indians, and it was like just some like random account with 10 or like 20 followers. And it just looked like scam, and I was like, yeah, that's probably it. But I also had one girl from Philippines that was pretty cute. She had a good looking profile and she was crushing it. She was getting way more replies than like many of those Indians combined. So then I realized it's probably about the profile, because profile made there a really big difference. They didn't do anything else. Like she was doing the same thing as those other like 20 Indians, but she get way more replies because of their profile. So right now, you know that like the first lever is profile setup. So you can be sending as many DMs as you want, but if your profile isn't looking good, or like people just think that you are like some scam, they aren't going to reply. So let me explain the actual flow of the prospects when you actually message them. So first thing, what everyone do when you send them a message, they will go to the request, they will see your name, your like number of followers, and the actual message. So if the message isn't too long, like if it's like some email, like long copy, nobody's going to read it. But if it's short, most people are going to read it. And after they read it, they will click on your profile and they will actually check your profile. If they like it, or if you like credible, or if it doesn't look like scam, if they just want to reply to that, they will go back, check the message again, and they will decide whether they are going to reply. So if your account isn't trustworthy, if it looks like a bot or something, you won't get any replies. That's the thing. So this is what we actually do for the accounts, what is getting the best reply rate. So we are using personal accounts. So like you don't want to use like a brand account. I see all those people actually putting like their logo of their agency and then like sending out cold DMs through that. That isn't like trustworthy, because people want to talk with people, not with brands. They are think that you are hiding behind some logo. So just use like real people. Either use you or just like get some stock pictures of someone looking real. Then like clear profile picture, like a real name and everything. Some content there, few pictures, and also follow like 60 to 150 people and get like the most optimal is to have over 1,000 followers. If you don't have over 1,000 followers, you can buy followers for like $1. You can buy like 1,000 followers and nobody cares. You don't need to have like real followers when you are doing outreach, because you aren't posting on and you don't care about the real engagement. So the followers are there just like for the credibility. So lever 2 is the message. So as I said before, when we were starting out, we had like shitty profile setup and we didn't get any replies. So once we have actually fixed that, we have started getting some results, but it wasn't great at all. Then I have realized we can maybe try to switch up the DM script that we are sending, because what we have actually done before is that I have just like went on YouTube, search up like for what message should I send on cold outreach, just saw the first guy that popped up, I just took his message and start sending that out. But obviously that isn't optimal, and we didn't get like any great results out of that. So we have basically split tested multiple openers to see which one is getting the most replies, and then we have basically stick with that. So the second lever is the actual message that you are going to send out. If you want the message to be really good, it should be like intriguing enough so people actually want to reply to it, but you don't want to give away like too much of the stuff that you are actually doing. So if you are selling something you don't want to be exact specific what you are selling, because if they just know everything, like they don't have any questions, there is no point in like booking a sales call with you. So it should be intriguing. So they reply, you tell something, some results that you can give them. If you can put there some guarantee or like some reverse back. So for example, we only get paid if you get results or whatever. This will get way bigger replies. And so after that, like now you might think that we were good, like we had better looking profiles, we had like sending better message, and that actually was good because it ended up booking us over 100 sales calls the next month. So within 1 month we have booked over, like it was around 100 sales calls for our agency. So that sounds great, but it wasn't that great because we have actually booked 100 sales calls, but I haven't closed anyone out of that. So closed 0 clients out of 100 sales calls. And right now that gets us to the level 3, why I actually haven't closed anyone. Like now you might think it was actually my skill issue in sales, which is true, but it wasn't the main thing that actually caused me to close 0 clients out of 100. Like even if you are shit at sales, you will close 1 person out of 100. But what actually was the problem, it was the actual business owners who were joining those sales calls, because after those 100 sales calls, I have realized that we are only booking sales calls with people from India, from people from Pakistan, and they don't simply have enough buying power. So our offer was like $800 per month, and we have, like our offer was actually that we do lead generation for them, appointment setting. And then the other day I have joined sales call, and I went through the same script as I went as usual, told him the offer, then I like told him the price, and he told me like, why would he actually hire me for $800 per month when he can hire 5 full-time employees there in Pakistan? And I was like, yeah, he's actually right. Like, why would he hire me? And then I was like, why the fuck we are actually targeting people from third world countries for our outreach? Because, for example, in India or Pakistan, you know, for someone $300 or like $800 is the same as for somebody in US like $8,000. So $800 was a lot of money actually for those people. The problem was that I have realized that our VAs that were actually, most of them were Indian, were booking sales calls also with Indians or like with Pakistanis, which was like big problem because we couldn't sell them. So then we have started working on targeting. So I have actually then compiled all of those lists myself and then give it to the VAs. So we have started targeting people that are from US, Canada, Europe, and basically first world countries. And after 1 week, 1 or 2 weeks, something like that, I've closed my first client. He was from US, like it wasn't any like high ticket client or anything, but after like first few months, maybe it was like 4 months, we finally closed someone. So it just took us actually the profiles, editing the profiles, getting better message, and then actually switching up the targeting. So I guess right now it's obvious that like third level is targeting. So you need to actually reach out to people that need your service, so whatever you are selling, and actually have enough money to afford it. Right now you might think it's obvious, but most of the people like don't actually realize this. And then like last lever is actually the volume. So actually after closing my first client, we have some success for the next 2 months and close another like 1 or 2 clients. But the current system we had wasn't scalable at all. Like we had 20 virtual assistants, like 20 Indians, and they were unreliable, so unmotivated, and we had to manage them all the time. But then I've actually jumped on a call with one guy who showed me how he is actually automating his outreach using some tool that scrapes you the leads and actually sends out all of those DMs on autopilot, also like using AI. And I was like, this is crazy. Like I'm managing here like 20 people. I need to like pay them. I need to motivate them all. And you are just using some automation that you just spend few minutes like per day, and you are sending way more DMs than me. And I thought it's just crazy. So in the next month, we basically let go most of our VAs. We just kept like 1 or 2 that were the best ones just to manage stuff. So we've started out like sending all of those DMs through the automation, and then we just have like 1 or 2 VAs to reply to people and actually book call. So we have basically reduced the DM sending team by 90%, but we were still sending way more DMs because automation never sleeps. It never tells you it's tired, like unmotivated, and it was even way cheaper. So at the end, like this was a huge upgrade. So with the system, it was way easier to scale this to like thousands and thousands of cold DMs per day. And we have started closing way more clients with this and getting them better results. Because we are actually buying all the Instagram and Twitter accounts and setting them up ourselves. So in the past, like each VA had their own personal account and reaching out through that. But right now we have bought like accounts for a few dollars, set them up, and they actually looked way better because we was setting them up ourselves. And then we have started sending out those DMs through those accounts with the automation. Then we had like 1 or 2 VAs who just like reply to all of those DMs and book out sales calls. So the last lever is the volume, basically like how many DMs you are sending. And so if I would want to rank it from what is like most important one till the least important one, I would probably go like with first, that is actually the volume, because I think that's the most important thing, because if you are sending like 5 DMs per day or like 10 DMs per day, it's useless, or like it isn't good. Like if you just send like 5 or 10 DMs per day and then you are wondering why you don't have any results, is because you need to send more. So volume like is the most important. Then I would say the profile setups is like super important. People usually don't know about this, but if you are doing cold DMs, your profile setup needs to be like really dialed in. Then the message, and then the actual targeting. But as I said before, like if even one of those isn't right, your results won't be good at all. And this is basically like the complete system. You need to have the targeting right, you need to target the right people, you need to have really good profiles to outreach from, your message needs to be really good. And then once those 3 things are right, you just start scaling it to more and more DMs, and once that you can like unlimitedly scale it. So let's say if you are sending 500 or like 50 DMs per day, you book 1 sales call per week. If you scale this to 500 DMs per day, you will get probably 10 sales calls per week. If you scale it to 5,000 DMs per day, you can get like 100 sales calls per week. Like you can scale it really easily. It's not hard to actually scale the volume, but firstly you need to get some results, and then you can scale the volume. So how to actually get all of those right? So you need to start tracking. Like this is, I would say, like the super important thing that most people don't talk about. So how do you actually start tracking? One thing you can just do, you can just grab some spreadsheet and just track every DM that you have sent and figure out if somebody replied or didn't reply. You can also put a VA to do this. You can do this. It will probably be way better than if you wouldn't be tracking, but it isn't optimal. Like more optimal way is that you can set up some outreach automation tool, for example, like Xreacher is our tool that will actually send out all of those DMs for you on autopilot, and then it will track the replies. So it will track the reply rate for the specific lead list that you are sending, so you can split test the leads that you are targeting, so you can figure out who you should target. Then it will split test the profile setups, so you can input there like multiple profile setups from which you will do the outreach from, and it will actually measure the reply rates for each one of those accounts, so you can figure out what profile setup suits the best for you and for your niche. And the last thing is the message script, so you can just like write down like 5 to 10 openers or the DMs that you are going to send out, input there, like inside of Xreacher, and it will actually send out all of those DMs for you, and then it will track the reply rate for each individual opener. So you need to be tracking all of those 3 things if you want to get the best results, because that's only way you are going to improve them. So just track everything, set up everything right. Once you start getting some results, just scale up the volume. That's everything for today. See you in the next video. You can watch some other video on my channel right now. See ya.